It has been a while since I was a beginner artist, and I, for my whole life, hoarded all my art, no matter what media it was. No matter what paper it was on over the years. The back of an important paper in school or a random note from work. I kept it all. I have dived into my traditional art stash a few times for videos I've done, and I've gone through all my sketchbooks at least 5 times, I'd say, after storing them under my bed. While looking at my art and trying to find the pictures I needed for my videos, I realized that there were specific mistakes or things I kept drawing over and over again, realizing that if I had done something differently in my art journey, it would have evolved much faster, I'd say. Those mistakes gave me an idea for this video. 5 biggest mistakes I made as a beginner artist. Trust me, there are more than 5 mistakes I did, but these 5 are the top tier mistakes I did and not try to fix them for a while. I will also note that I'm not a professional artist and my art has still a lot of mistakes in them, and I know it. The first mistake I made was that I only drew in 3 to 4 angles or side profiles and only headshots with the same expression in all the images. Sure, it was more than one angle, but that is still not good in the long run, as I would only know how to draw those things. I know 3 to 4 angle is the most popular angle to draw, and I myself still draw in that angle most of the time. But to see if you are too locked in this angle is to try an art trend from TikTok where you rotate a head. Can you make a head turn full 360 degree using only your art? A really nice trend to try, and it makes you draw in different perspective if you want to finish it. With the art I have published, could I make a full 360 turn? Maybe. I'm not sure right now. Editing me, did we get a full turn?
Editing only, no, we didn't get perfect one, but pretty decent.
For me, getting out of this headshot trap was to start drawing full body pictures and poses where the head can be in any direction and even have the body as the main point and not the face. Letting the pose tell the bigger story than the face. For expressions, I mostly drew angry faces when I was beginner, as that was something I liked, and I did struggle a lot while drawing different expressions. I remember that one classmate actually asked me why I only draw angry faces, and that made me realize that maybe it's time to learn other expressions too, as a random non-artist classmate gave me that note. I really like those overly exaggerated expressions a lot, and I do practice them still while doodling. Sure, my avatar on this channel doesn't even have a face, so there goes that experience and practice. I really like to take part on these expression memes that you can find in internet, as it is a really good way to practice more exaggerated faces. My top favorite ones to look at are the ones Disney has made for their characters and taking reference from them. Now, as we are talking about references, that was my second mistake, not looking for them in any way. I am not only talking that I did not look for human anatomy, I am also talking about clothes, jewelry, fashion, and hair, for example. Everything there is in your art, you can look for reference for it. Sure, everyone can draw a t-shirt, but where do the folds go on the body? What material it's made of? Drawing a plain t-shirt doesn't need all that thinking, but having somewhat understanding on how different fabrics work and what kind of weight does different fabrics have made me able to draw very different things, and they could be portrayed more easily. Also, I don't have to create the next bag or shoes that everyone wants to buy. There are already people who make them, so I can go and look reference from those people's work. It has made my sketching faster when I just go and look for reference, and I can plan things better in my art. Planning is the key. And also the third mistake I made as I did not plan my art. Wow, the changes between topics is flowing smoothly in here. So, you have had time to think about your art. You know what to draw and you have perfect pose for it and the sketch is ready, but then you want to add more to it. And look at that, the earlier sketch is not working with anything you try to add. This has happened to me many times and I noticed fixing this problem is very simple. While sketching my next art, I made a few more different sketches of the same image. Really rough ones, so that my time won't go on sketching too much. I don't need to see the finished sketch yet when I'm letting ideas come out of me. And while sketching, I have noticed that I do have better hidden ideas for the art, and I like the new ideas way more than the original idea. The more I plan my art, the better it can be. Sure, the first sketch can also be the best one you made, but now you have all the other sketches you can use in the future, so you're always winning. The fourth mistake was that I did not draw different things. In here, I mean I mostly drew My Little Pony stuff. I like the show, so why would I draw something else? Just keep drawing ponies every day. Well, the problem came when I wanted to draw humans more, and everything I knew was non-human. I drew ponies and dragons sometimes. So when I thought I was getting somewhere with my art, I needed to go and take steps back, as I did not know how human anatomy worked. I was back at the baby steps when drawing a whole new things, and it did make me feel bad about my art skills back then. This also did not stop on humans. Everything non-pony was hard for me to draw. Even perspective was hard for me to draw. Not that it is any easier now, it is still really hard thing for me. But I am better at it than I was before I started to think about it. Maybe I should have added perspective to my list, but no, I did not add it to my list. As for the fifth mistake I made was not learning how digital art canvases work. Every other mistake I made can be made in both media, but for my last mistake I'm here to talk about how I did not understand how digital art worked. If I look at the oldest art that I have made in digital, it is very small. Everything in them is pixelated and not too good to watch. Sure, I believe this is now more known knowledge, but when I was younger, I didn't know this, and I drew on canvases that were like 500x 500 px, literal post stamp size, and I thought the canvases were huge. There was so much room to fill, and I wondered why other people's art had such smooth lines. Like they had so much more room in their canvases. Oh, I was a fool back then. Then at some point I upgraded to 3000x 3000 px images and oh my god, my lines were not pixelated as much. Saying this now out loud, it sounds like basic information, really basic knowledge. The more you have room to work in, the more you can put details. Oh, you were stupid child. You hear me? A stupid child. Did you need someone to write that down for you, that when you have a bigger canvas to work in, you have more room? But I cannot be mad at you. Nobody told you. You grew up using paint after all. The only reason why I even uploaded my canvas size was because I looked at what others had in DeviantArt. As you can see how huge the canvas was. I went to look how huge their pictures were and I was like, oh, they're much bigger than mine. And here I was wondering why everything I did was so pixelated. Thank you all for listening to the 5 beginner mistakes that I made when I was a beginner. Did you make the same mistakes as I, or did you make different ones? Feel free to tell them in the comments below, I would love to hear them. And as always, I hope to see you all in my next video.